In the previous video, we learned how to use a randomizer to make boxes appear at random places when we start running our game. Now, let's add a whole bunch more. In our box spawner script, currently we only run one time of spawning at the very start. I'm just going to clean this up a little bit. And I'm going to get rid of this update method. I need to create my own custom method for this to be able to function properly. I'm going to call it box spawner. And let me spell it correctly. And I'm going to give my brackets to make sure this method is listed properly. And what I want my box spawner to do is the same thing my start method did in the first place. So I'm going to copy and paste that code in here. I want it to choose random locations and make these the different positions for the X and Z values that it spawns the box. But now I need to do something a little bit different. I'm going to add a comment in here, and I'm going to say I want this to have the code for my timer. And what a timer does is it sets up a repeating behavior that is going to repeat at a rate that I set. So I'm going to set some variables for this. I'm going to create a float, a decimal value, called start delay. And I'm going to create a private float called spawn interval. The start delay means how long after I initialize my timer does it begin, and my spawn interval means how long do I have to wait in between for every consecutive or each time it runs afterwards. So initially I'm going to say I want this to wait 2 seconds. And let's make my spawn interval for afterwards to be 1, just to see lots of stuff happening for now. We can maybe adjust these later if we need to. So here's how my timer works. I'm going to call this behavior called invoke repeating. And this is going to allow me to reference a behavior, such as my box spawner, a whole bunch of times. First thing I add is the name of it. It's called a box spawner. I need to give it the exact spelling of that name, capitalization included. Next, I need my start delay, which I defined above, and then I need my spawn interval. So this invoke repeating is going to invoke or cause my box spawner behavior to run after this amount of time. And then after it runs the first time, it's going to wait the spawn interval, or this amount of time, to run it again and again and again afterwards. And because I'm activating this in my start, it means that I queue up or start off this repeating behavior that'll then continue going again and again and again as my game progresses. Let's just see what happens here. There's my first box from starting the game, and now it's invoked this method to continue spawning boxes. And now I have this, kind of intimidating, this is obviously too fast for my gameplay, because how am I going to keep these boxes off fast enough? They keep on spawning, and I'm just really bad at this, just knocking things not right. And I need to get these all off the edges, and it's just overwhelming. And at least I didn't run off the edge of the world. Oh my gosh. And can't knock it off. I almost, and multiple at once. Cool. And this actually kind of feels kind of fun, but notice I'm getting pretty quickly overwhelmed by the number of spawned boxes. And this is pretty cool. So let's just tone this down a little bit. And actually, I'm going to notice one thing here. This is the same thing as this. Why do I need this to happen initially? What if I just started my invoke repeating right away, and then I just had things wait a little bit afterwards? So I've tidied up my code a little bit here. What I've just done is made it so that just using that invoke repeating, I now spawn my first box, and now I've added a little bit more time before the next one appears. So maybe I have a hope. I don't know. Is it too little? Oh, I'm kind of a bit bad accuracy. And one spawned just beside me. That's convenient. And another one. Oh, the game wants me to win. And okay, I'm not going to try and play this right now, but notice they keep on spawning. And now we have repeated randomization. That's pretty cool. See you in the next video.